Hey everyone, and welcome to a new UJAM walkthrough. Today I invite you to a quick tour through UJAM's latest release, Finisher DYNAMO. It looks all steampunky and postmodern, so what does it do? Well, to illustrate this, maybe a short look behind the scenes might help. UJAM wanted to create a plugin that specializes on modernizing, remixing and animating sounds. So during development, this plugin was just called Finisher but it quickly became clear that Germans are unable to properly pronounce so Finisher DYNAMO it is. A plugin that adds movement and fabulous fanciness to your sounds. From subtle animation to just make your mix sound more modern, to drastic all-around remixing. If you take a closer look at current-day chart music across almost all genres, you will notice that whether it's drums, bass, instruments, everything is slightly remixed, even including the vocals, resulting in what is now commonly called vocal chops, but more on those later. Time for some examples. To evaluate them with us, I brought an old friend, and I will use super simple source material so as to not hide DYNAMO's effect behind production values. So here's a super simple beat. We could turn it into this, or this, or maybe for a breakdown, this. Nice. Let's just keep a beat and add a basic synth hook, which we could enhance like this, turn into this, or this. How about some polyphonic instruments? Keeping the source material simple, here's a small pad, widened and animated like this, or this. Or, considering the potentially super close 90s revival, you know it's coming. How about this? Or we take the entire mix and transform it into something different, like this. Or, if you want to troll your neighbors, how about this? Obviously, I'm showing rather extreme examples right now for some appropriate sensationalism. But of course, within a pop mix, you might not need nearly as much. Used with some restraint, you can use Finisher DYNAMO on countless aspects of your mix. Make your trap hi-hat more sophisticated, slightly remix your signature sample, create fill-ins, for example by just running your entire mix through this. Oh, and I wanted to talk about vocals. How about not using the same handful of libraries that everybody uses, but generate your own vocal chops based on your own vocals? Simple chops, pitch chops, or maybe entire atmospheres generated out of a single vocal. And by the way, since modern pop mixes are trending back to super audible aux returns, often featuring almost an arranged symphony of add-on effects, Finisher DYNAMO is an absolutely fabulous plugin for your aux return needs. Not just sending you some boring reverb, but all kinds of interesting animated colors and spices to add to the overall fanciness of your mix. So this is the reasonable end of the spectrum. But of course I also must show you the much more TikTok-ish, unreasonable end of the spectrum. When applied in drastic dosages, Finisher DYNAMO can throw curveballs and ideas at you until the cows come home. Super nice as a starting point and inspiration for new ideas. Watch this simple synth wave become an X-simple synth wave. And once we have a beat, watch this morph into a House of Pain-style hip-hop screech. And now, turn this whole evil mess into a friendly synth. Ironically, as a friend of mine observed, the way this thing throws fancy ideas at you to get you started means that it's not so much a finisher as it is a starter. So, starter DYNAMO, yeah, no. Let's keep things simple. The whole idea of finishes is to do a lot while staying super simple. So thankfully, I only have very few elements to explain. The two most important things are of course the selection of the finisher mode, split into categories with well-intended suggestions for what material to use with which mode, and of course the finisher knob. To the right we have a nice and smooth tone control. To the left you can choose different patterns, including a halftime mode for trap producers. Super fun if you automate this. And these two knobs do something completely different in each mode, from appropriately out of left field, unusual stuff, to handy controls of obvious aspects of the sound, always depending on the mode you use. Oh, and up here there's presets. Lots and lots and lots of presets. And obviously, despite our best intentions when suggesting modes for input material, the amount of happy accidents might increase, especially if you ignore all of what we say and throw a solo mode at drums, a vocal mode at a pad, or a pad mode at the entire mix. As always, we cordially invite you to download the demo that runs without any restrictions for a month and try it out for yourself. And that's Finisher DYNAMO. Rhythm.